Oh, hello there, YouTube. Welcome to part 8, which I'm sure is going to go just so well. I appreciate that you've made it this far. Sorry for the nasty, nasty cliffhanger. I appreciate all of you making it this far in the playthrough. Please leave a like and a comment. Follow the links down in the description. Transfer kinetic energy from your finger to your mouse to the like button. I gotta tell you, I am not confident in what Catherine has told us is going to happen here. Catherine seems to think that we're going to transfer our mind to the cortex. I really don't think that's going to happen. I think we're about to get duped and that I'm about to copy myself, and that is going to suck so much ass.
We need to loop back the activity manifested by your current cortex chip, run it through the amplifier, feed it into the new chip, and then make sure it's synced.
You lost me halfway there.
You don't really need to understand it, just make them line up.
Make them line up. Okay. Yeah, we're getting close. This is actually kind of neat, but... Frequency 1. Oh. There it is. 157.
That's everything. You can climb into the pilot seat now.
Already?
I have everything under control, so please, have a seat. Go sit in the pilot seat. Stop messing around and sit down in the pilot seat.
Would you give me a second?
Sorry about any discomfort. This should be over soon.
It's like having your picture taken.
But with the most expensive camera in the world.
You know, Indian stock photos would steal their souls.
In this case, they'd be right.
There must be something wrong. Can't you run a diagnosis or something?
Son of a bitch! Oh, man. All right. I imagine most of you know why I'm upset right now. But in case you don't, I'm going to explain what just happened. We got copied. When you get copied, so my consciousness got copied as it was, transferred to the suit. The me that just woke up on the suit just had the exact same experience that I had when I woke up under the water after I went into the machine back in Toronto. The voice that we just heard was my own voice talking to Catherine, saying that nothing happened because the body that I was just in has my consciousness in it and thinks that it didn't work. So there are essentially two of me right now. One whose consciousness is continuing sitting in that pilot seat thinking that it didn't work, and two being the me that thinks I got transferred over to the suit and that it did work. Which means that the me that is sitting in that pilot seat thinks it failed and is now doomed to sit here for the rest of his life. Because I'm in the suit and I get to leave and go into the abyss. And what's crazy is because you cannot experience two consciousnesses simultaneously, I think I got transferred, that guy doesn't know it. So I really want to paint an important picture here for all of you, okay? I want you to forget about the fact for a second that I just woke up in the suit, okay? I want you to imagine Catherine puts the helmet on, says this is gonna, sorry if this hurts, and then she does the thing, and then you wake up and you're still sitting in the chair, and nothing ostensibly has happened. You're still sitting in the chair. The first thing that you would think is it didn't work because I'm still conscious. I'm still sitting in this chair. I have an awareness of the fact that I'm sitting in this chair. Catherine is still there. Shit, it didn't work. But then the suit walks out of the locker and it's me. That's the experience that the Simon that is sitting in that chair right now is having. That Simon does not know that the copy exists. He does not know because I am currently sitting in the suit in the locker. The second I walk out of this locker, that Simon is going to know that it was a copy, not a transfer. So in a lot of ways, I can actually kind of understand why there were people that wanted to kill themselves upon transfer. Because imagine having the realization that you were copied to the Ark and that you aren't going. You are stuck on an Earth that was blasted by a comet. That sounds pretty awful. You get to live out your days underwater in a base that sucks ass, while copy of you gets to go to heaven, essentially. So this blows because that Simon now has to live the rest of his life knowing that the copy of him is in the suit and is going to go into the abyss. And the copy of him that's in the suit, which is who we're taking control of right now, feels as if I am continuing my consciousness from when I sat in the chair. It's literally the exact same thing that happened when we went in the chair in Toronto and then woke up underwater. I absolutely think that Catherine said it was going to be a transfer in order to get Simon to consent to this. This whole game has been a nightmare of consent. I absolutely believe that Catherine duped us on this. This sucks. I hope that helps people understand what happened here. This is a moment of existential crisis that is on a plane of reality that none of us could comprehend actually.
What was that?
No, it's just,
Why was it still talking?
it's the same like before.
Catherine, why was he still talking?
That's how it works, you know that.
What do you mean?
You know it's not magic. You were copied. The sleeping Simon in the seat was copied, and now You are here, just like Simon lived on in Toronto.
God damn you, Kath. 2 Simons? There can't be 2 Simons.
What did you think would happen?
That you were gonna take my mind and put it into another body, like a brain transplant.
I'm sorry, it wouldn't work that way.
You realize how messed up this is?
Please, I didn't mean to upset you.
How did you expect me to react to this shit?
Please stop.
You're fucking disgusting. What's gonna happen to him?
He'll sleep for a while, a few days.
And then what? Wake up in this fucking nightmare again? All alone? So cruel.
Well, what do you want me to do with him? Make friends? Let him know that we have to leave him behind when we go into the abyss?
What if he didn't need to wake up?
You'd do that?
I don't know. Maybe.
To be fair to Catherine. I don't think it's unreasonable for her to say you knew that this is how it was going to go down. I mean, Ryan, literally just sat here 5 minutes ago and said, I know this is what's going to happen because all of the evidence and all of the information we've gotten up until this point suggests that it's not a transfer, it's a copy. We read all of the stuff in people's rooms and we know the lore around this. So, I mean, really, it's a bit surprising to me that Simon didn't ask the question ahead of time. Maybe he wanted to lean into ignorance and believe that it was going to be a transfer because he didn't want to deal with the reality of what it was he was about to do. But we got enough information to know that that was what was going to happen. It's why I'm not surprised. I'm pissed, but I'm not surprised. It sucks. But I do think that Simon taking this out on Catherine is maybe a bit unfair to Catherine. Could she have said, you know it's going to be a copy? Yes. It would have been a nice reminder. Simon also could have asked, could have deduced. So this is really, it's a failure on both parties as far as I'm concerned. But this really brings in something that it's really tough because the reality is this is an impossible circumstance. Because there's a Simon that's going to get left behind in this room no matter what happens. Because Catherine has already said that if Simon didn't do it, she would go into the suit and go to the abyss, which would mean that I would be left here anyway. So what really sucks about this is it's like, so do you copy yourself, feel a sense of continuity, leave behind the version of you that you no longer are piloting and kill it because he doesn't actually, maybe he doesn't know, and then continue on? Or do you stay stuck in this area like what that other Simon is anyway? Catherine's coming with us. But now,
There. I set it up for you. Hit the switch if you want to drain his battery. He'll die within a minute. I'd rather not stay plugged in any longer.
this is nuts. I could go in so many directions with this. And I'm going to be messy with this. So just bear with me here for a second while I talk this out. For all intents and purposes, I think it is okay for us to conceptualize that the person sitting in that chair is me. Okay? So this is going to this gets into the whole physics of this thing, okay? We are conditioned by the way that just being a human has been represented to us throughout our entire lives. We are conditioned to see another vehicle, in this case a body, as a separate entity. That as soon as this copy was made, that person sitting in the chair is a separate person with its own autonomy, thoughts, feelings, drives, etc. And that's not totally wrong. However, the caveat on this is that what happened there was an exact copy was made. The only difference in that body versus the body I currently occupy right now is the 10 seconds where that Simon believes that the experiment didn't work. Okay? But we could reasonably assume that had that body not woken up, and it is currently asleep, that that body would have, to an extent, the same convictions as I currently do now, because it is me. Which would mean that up until this point, that body has the same set of values, orientation to different concepts, way of integrating certain perceptions of the environment, etc. So now we get into this very cool existential question of, do values transcend space-time? There's a cool moment in the movie Interstellar where Anne Hathaway's character talks about this, where she says love transcends all of the dimensions. And that potentially could stand to reason here as well, is do my values as a person which have been copied continue on? To give you another example, it would be if I was a devout Catholic, if Simon was a devout Catholic and believes in God, and absolutely believes that God exists. When Simon wakes up as a copy underwater, believing that it is him continued, does he still believe that God exists absolutely? The answer to that would be yes. Perhaps there are some things that challenge that when he's, through his experience, but let's assume that he holds steady to this value that God is real. It would mean that when this Simon gets copied into this Simon, both Simons believe that God is real, because that is part of the consciousness that transcends the vehicle that he is occupying. So, my belief here is that, whatever Simon believes about suicide as an option as it relates to these circumstances or any others, it would stand to reason that that transcends both bodies for the same reason I just described with religious orientation. So, if I, Simon, believe that killing this body is the ideal outcome here, that body might also agree. That body might say, I want to die if I wake up in this chair and see that suit move, because I don't want to be in this room. I believe that killing oneself after a transfer is a appropriate response so that they don't have to deal with the ethical dilemma that they're currently experiencing. That transcends the body. So, if I believe that killing him here is the ethical thing to do, that body would also agree. Thus, I believe we could reasonably expect that that body would consent to me killing him, if I believe that that is the appropriate response here. I really hope that makes sense. I feel like I've explained that as clearly as I possibly can. And vice versa. If I didn't believe that suicide was a go-to appropriate action in response to copy, and I believe that people have to make a copy and then live with the two bodies or whatever, then that body would also realize that and would say, I don't want to be killed because I believe that I should continue to exist as a copy. Now, if we take me, Ryan, out of this moment and we think about Simon in this moment, by virtue of putting that helmet on, Simon consented to a transfer. Simon did not consent to a copy. But this Simon also consented to the idea that he was going to put on the suit and go into the abyss, which theoretically means that this Simon's existence is not an existence he consented to. And I imagine that if you are following my train of thought on this, you now realize I am absolutely 100% going to kill him. Because if I believe that he should die here, it means that he believes that he should die here. Because the only difference right now between the two of us is that he realized that it didn't work, and I realized I'm in the suit. What sucks is I have to live with the realization of this existence. Catherine, luckily, was kind enough to power him down before I walked out there, so this Simon doesn't have to deal with the knowledge of the fact that that suit walked out with his consciousness in it. And what would really happen here is that when he wakes up, Catherine won't be there because I took it. So now he's going to wake up and be by himself in this space and have no idea what happened. And I don't know about you, but I don't think I'd want to wake up with that. I think I'd rather be terminated. Could it be argued that the Simon being confronted with being in the chair instead of being in the suit could be a fundamental divergence point, same as what you think you'll do before a situation comes up and you actually have to face it? Theoretically, but again, what you have to remember is that we are the same at this moment in time. So my conscious choice here is theoretically the same conscious choice as that Simon because of the fact that we are at the exact same moment in time. There's a lot of depth and layers here in terms of like having to put that together, but that's where we really have to think about the idea of do our values and pre-existing notions and perceptions of the world transcend the vehicle in which our body is? It's essentially the idea of somebody picked your brain and put your brain in another person's body. Do you all of a sudden believe, like if that person believes in the flying spaghetti monster and you believe in God, if I take your brain and put it in that person's body, do you all of a sudden believe in the flying spaghetti monster? No. So it's a really tricky conundrum here. The difference is that we just copied our brain and put it in. So this Simon believes that he is supposed to be transferred. This Simon believes he has said that I am going to go into the abyss, that I have consented to the timeline that this Simon is living out. He has not consented to the next timeline. And I am going to put it, I believe that this is absolutely merciful for me to kill him. I really do. This is what I want for myself. This would be an absolutely ridiculous moment, by the way. To look at a body and know that that body shares the same consciousness and would wake up and be you, but reacting to a different reality. And we haven't been presented with the option to wake myself up and talk about it. That would be wild. But we haven't been presented with that option. So if my option is to let him sit there or to kill him, I'm killing him. But I actually don't even know that I would want to wake him up. Like, that's the thing, man. Well, I guess maybe I would, because then he could actually consent to the death. That would be a real trip. I don't even know that I have an ability to talk about that in any kind of meaningful way. Like, having a conversation with your copied consciousness would be unbelievable. Because then there's a power dynamic between your two consciousness. Like, I'm a consciousness that gets to go forward. He has a consciousness that does not. So there's a power dynamic there. Hey man, it was real. But I'm not about to wake you up and keep you stuck in this place for the rest of your life. Especially since you're a robot and Lord knows how long you'd be alive, you'd go insane. Because I would want you to die, it stands to reason that you would want to die here, because we share the same consciousness. So, I'm powering you down, bud. Godspeed. I don't know about you guys, but if I could choose the way I want to die, it would be to die in my sleep. Because if I woke up in that chair and knew I was stuck in here, I would absolutely kill myself. So, we should all be so lucky to be able to fall asleep, to die in our sleep. And now my consciousness continues, and I live with the reality of knowing that I was merciful to myself. Man. I don't know if there is a moment in any game that I have ever played that matches this moment. I'm being dead serious here. I literally cannot think of a single moment in any video game I've played in my entire life where I engaged my brain in that way. Absolutely incredible stuff. All right, Catherine. Let's go. Yeah! Let's go! Holy shit, man. Are you kidding me? Oh, man. Hey, thanks for being here, YouTube and Twitch. I appreciate you keeping the run spoiler-free. Let me think through these things and talk it out. I really do appreciate all of you. I want to explore this. Oh, yep, busted. So we do need to go to the other one. Go figure. Oh. All right, Catherine.
Are we done here?
Yeah,
Activate the climber, please.
sure thing.
I wonder if she's upset at me for killing Simon.
Take a seat and we'll be off.
Yeah, you hear her? Her tone of voice has definitely shifted. Alright, here we go. The sunlit zone, rich in light and oxygen. Pathos 2 main plateau. Depth.
Have we figured out what happens when we die yet? Is that even possible? Is there some kind of afterlife? Do you think my place is taken? The real me died like 100 years ago. Is there still room for me? And what about the Simon I killed at Omicron? What do you think, Catherine? Is there a heaven full of redundant copies of the same people? Is there someone up there who called me an imposter? It's dumb luck, right? That I woke up in the right body. I basically flipped a coin, and if I had called the wrong side, I'd be rotting away at Omicron. I mean, there's nowhere to know, right? You didn't hit the make sure Simon wakes up in the right body switch, did you? Not that you would know. I mean, he would still claim to be the right Simon. Christ. This is awful. We did an awful fucking thing. And you wouldn't mind? Why would you? How could you know that it's not me, the me that I am, the same that I've always been? Please say something. I don't want to think. Please.
I don't know what to say. I don't want to upset you.
Say anything.
When I was little, I used to climb the stairs all the way to the top of the building. And I can still feel how I had to, tuck my arms so I could push the heavy steel door open. Well, the first time that I dared go up there, I stepped out onto the roof and watched the smog rise and fall over Taipei. I got all the way up to the corner ledge and, I felt the warm wind in my hair and the sun was setting and the streets below were shadowed by the tall buildings. The people pushing through the crowd flowed like paint from an artist's brush. Street food vendors filled the air with aromas of all my favorite foods. For a brief moment, I felt connected to the world in a way that I never had before. It was the most profound feeling of comfort and sense of belonging I could ever hope for. I really never felt the same way again, but I went up to the roof many times after. I'm not religious, but I can see why people would be. The privilege of being makes a strong case, at least every once in a while.
Do you still feel that sense of awe? Even like this?
Things are different, but we're still here.
What's the point of going on? Everyone's gone. All the people still left are digital copies trapped in computers at the bottom of the sea. We'll never be able to rebuild or reclaim what we were.
Are you really so unhappy being what you are, or is this about the man who went for a scan 100 years ago?
Both, I guess. When I was back in Toronto, even the worst case, the darkest futures I could predict, they at least included my previous life somehow. I feel so uprooted. There's nothing here that I recognize, nothing that makes me feel like I belong. Even if we make it to the Ark, would it be any different? I'd still be alone. No friends. No family.
You could make new friends. I'm sure everyone would like to know the time traveler. If not, you still have...
Catherine? Kath? Hello, Catherine. What happened?
Man, oh man. Holy shit. Well, before we try to figure out what the hell just happened, that was a very cool moment. I really appreciate that Catherine took a shot there. The thing that Simon was asking her to do by saying anything was asking her to do something that's very difficult for her. We've known about Catherine really throughout this entire game since we've met her, that she struggles connecting with people. And one of the things that I admire about that moment is that she was willing to take a risk and share a personal story about herself. And that's how you learn to do things that you're not good at. Like, she got some engagement from Simon around it. She shared it. She didn't get made fun of. And it would be really important for Catherine in that moment to recognize that she tried something new and that she engaged in an incremental step of developing a skill. And I think that's cool. And I got to tell you, I think if there's any theme that I think is most important about this little ride that we just took, is it's the power of connection and relationship. That when people are struggling to understand things that really don't have an answer as badly as we wish they did, that when humans are confronted with uncertainty, we look to each other for reassurance. We look to each other for acknowledgement and validation. It's not always about the answers. Sometimes it's just about having somebody share in the discomfort and the confusion with you, which is why I always talk about how you should never underestimate the power of your presence when somebody is struggling. Because sometimes just having somebody acknowledge your experience, or even just be physically present, or present in whatever way they can make all the difference to navigating an adverse situation. Secure attachment is built through responses, not through initiations. So we see Simon reaching out when he says anything, say anything. That is a commentary on the power of relationship. Simon is not connected to Catherine, the body. He's not connected to the Omni tool that she's on. He's connected to the person that transcends that chip. The person that transcends whatever computer that she is currently connected to. He wants to feel a sense that he is acknowledged in some kind of way, which is why what that other Simon would wake up to up there would be torturous, because he would have nobody. So it's so important to recognize that connection no matter how small, can make a huge difference. It's why reaching out for help when you're struggling is so important. If you actively stop yourself for reaching out to people when you're struggling because you don't want to burden them, you're not helping yourself. It's a really powerful moment. I mean, Simon's asking questions we don't have the answer to. Catherine doesn't have the answer to him. He doesn't have the answer to him. So he has to steep himself in uncertainty. When he says, I don't want to be alone with my thoughts, he's basically saying, I don't want to be alone with my intellectual capacity for engaging with the unknown, for engaging with existential philosophy. What am I? Because I'm certainly not the body I occupy. I'm certainly not the context I'm embedded in. Those affect me. My history affects me, but who I am is who I am, literally just what is perceiving what is immediately in front of me with the senses I currently have. And yeah, kind of crazy to think that this Simon essentially believes that he rolled the dice and had a 50-50 chance that his consciousness would continue here when that's not the actual reality of it. The reality is both Simons would believe that they hit the coin flip. Unbelievable stuff. And we got bioluminescent fish. Nice. All right, so are we drifting down or are these drifting up? I don't really want to just leave the Omni tool here.
It's not much, but why have we stopped moving?
The power blacked out for a moment. Think it could be the atmospheric pressure. It's pushing pretty hard, really testing the limits of my suit.
Don't worry, it should hold.
Comforting.
It will hold.
Does time freeze when you're not powered?
Time feels omitted more than anything.
What's the difference?
I don't feel like I'm being held back or hindered. And I don't have the opportunity to reflect on the time I'm missing. It's simply missing.
Sounds like sleeping without the dreaming.
Yes, but generally you anticipate when you're about to sleep, and there's a natural continuation since we tend to wake up where we went to sleep. My experience is more like an ever-changing moment that never really seems to find closure.
Sounds kind of like a movie being edited live.
I suppose so. I guess it sounds exciting, but it really keeps me activated to the point of exhaustion.
It's rough.
Could be worse. Could be a time traveler stuck in a body made from black goo.
That'd be the worst.
Great. The wow is taking hold. Oh God! Ah! Get out of here!
You did it! You did it! I will make preparations.
Oh, good, you're back.
What happened?
Something dropped onto the cage. Knocks you right out.
It spoke to me.
Looked like a man. One of WoW's creatures.
She saw it.
It just stared at you for a moment, then threw itself down the abyss.
It said it would make preparations. I don't like the sound of that.
It was very strange. I thought it was going to kill you for sure. I'm glad it didn't.
Yeah, me too.
Wow, okay, so she could see it, so that's fascinating. So it's not a figment of my imagination.
On the ocean floor.
Good, not sure the climber could take it much longer. Okay, so this is the Omega Sector. It's about an acre of the abyssal plan used by Pathos 2. I expect we'll have to do some walking before we reach Tau.
Perfect example of what I was just talking about. That being has been, there's really two options. It's either real or it's a figment of my imagination. When we were walking around Theta, or Omicron, it was impossible to know because I was alone when I was bearing witness to it. And all of my preconceived notions about that type of experience would suggest that it's some sort of hallucination, or like maybe it's the body I'm stuck in or whatever. There is an immense amount of relief and reassurance in the fact that Catherine bared witness to it, that Catherine saw it. I immediately feel a mitigation of some of the anxiety. I still don't know what it is. I still don't know what its purpose is, but I do know that it's not just in my head. There's real power to the fact that I just got affirmation from another person or another thing that what I saw was also seen by them. It could be a shared hallucination, but again, it's the power of the relationship. It's the power of the fact that another person is sharing and validating that experience by what she just said. Maybe she saw it through the camera. Maybe she sees it through me. It's impossible to know, but the reality is she saw it. It's one of the WoW's beings. It stared at you, and then it jumped into the abyss. That's consistent with what my senses saw, and that's nice. Doesn't mean I feel any better about not knowing what it is, but the fact that I'm not the only person perceiving it, very helpful. Again, that's why validation is such a powerful tool in building interpersonal relationships.
You haven't been here before?
Not in a way that'll help us.
Right, the other you has been here. We're following your own footsteps, Kat.
When I had footsteps,
You could still be down here somewhere, technically.
don't remind me, freaks me out. Alright, let's head for Tau and find that ark.
Okay. Dude, the water pressure down here would be nutty. Pitch black. Oh boy, and the WoW is thriving apparently down here. Error: Lumar link needed to call climber. Danger: area unsafe. Stay close to the lights. ACR log. 2103, August 3rd. Signed Julia Dahl and Richard Holland. Sample collection, physical checkups. Signed Julia, check. Tau evacuation. Failed. Bringing the Ark to Phi. Alan Waldeck remote. Why the hell do I hear thunder? Power relay 5.
Tau? Come in, Tau. Please answer, Tau. Nothing. It's dead.
Let's move out. We'll try the next one.
Master switch, 6600 volts. And the integrity on these power tools is pretty amazing. Warning. Faulting activity, strong torrents expected. Oh, there we go. There's our answer. So we're literally on a fault line.
Jesus, did you see that? Stick to the lamplights. They won't go near them.
I can't, Valglasser. It's important I reach Omicron. Our future depends on it.
Calm down. Let's just follow the path.
If I die, I need you to tell Julia Dahl that the WoW is out of control. She needs to get to Sarang. He'll know what to do.
Raj, you can tell them yourself. We just need to pick up the pace, okay?
Glass! We lost the path! We need to go back!
I know where to go. Come on.
It's over there! The light is over there!
Final push, Raj. Almost there. We just...
Oof. It's still really creepy that you can only get the records from the black box when there's a head. Oh, man. "700 meters. Danger, stay close to the lights. Blue leads to Tau, red leads to the climber." Oh, interesting. I don't want to know what the... I don't want to even know what the thing is that's chasing me. Oh, God! Woo! Keep it moving, Simon. Keep it moving, buddy. Woo! Inventory. Anima illuminating artificial lure, 120 pieces. Anima reflecting artificial lure, 80 pieces. Dried squid, 0. Fish flake, 0. Frozen minnows, 0. Huipo, 0. Mushroom extract, 0. Plankton stock, 0. Powdered cassava, 0. Powdered eggs, 0. Live bait tank, large, empty. Live bait tank, small, empty. Live bait tank, small, empty. Mission logs. Observation number 134. Setup, dried squid, 60 pieces of Anima LAL, cameras, quad HDR, low lumina. Results, target, frilled shark, 150 centimeters. Description, rare shark approached the luminous lure, circled around to eat the dried squid. Unlikely that it frequents this depth. An anomaly. S. Glasser. Observation number 172. Atlantic blue marlin, 40 pieces of Anima. RAL, cameras, quad HDR, M Lumina. Results, target, giant squid, 1,200 centimeters. Description, mantle the size of a man, 170 to 200 centimeters. Estimated length of the whole thing, 10 to 12 meters. Frantic attack tore the marlin apart. As soon as we turned on the lights, it quickly fled the area. Clearly another specimen affected by the leaking structure gel. Partially covered in scales and newly formed bone structure protruding through the mantle. S. Glasser. Observation number 188, 15 pieces of Anima LAL, 25 pieces of Anima RAL. Quad HDR ML Lumina vector to ISO for the camera. Results, target unknown 40 centimeters. The creatures disfigured by the gel are manic and will attack anything. Still hard to determine how WoW has affected their behavior beyond their apparent aggression and affinity with light. The creatures seem to hunt something particular, something not present in this ecosystem. Yikes. Statistics, item 1. Looks like it's a humpback whale. Number 2, giant squid. Number 3, anglerfish, unable to load data. Huh. Boy, I really am not liking this. This is not great. Oh man, we gotta book it. Oh baby, go! Yeah! Focus forward. Go to the blue lights. Oh my god. Go. Oh boy. No time. No time. Yeah. Jesus. Keep moving. Man, you'd think they'd put these on sturdier poles. All right. Insufficient power.
Can you hear this? Anyone there?
This is Tau. Who is this?
This is Ian Peterson of Theta calling. I got a team with me, and we're about half a kilometer from Tau.
What? How did... You came in the climber?
Listen, we're having a really hard time with this sector. Heavy turbulence is making it difficult to move forward, and the wildlife you got is absolutely rabid.
The storm comes and goes. The instruments show the weather is relatively fair right now. You should move out as soon as possible. Stick to the lights. The critters should leave you alone.
All right, you heard the man. We're moving out, people. Tau, keep the doors unlocked. We're coming in.
Garage. control. Observatory, beacon offline, ACR landing offline, Tau. Following you, I guess. Don't blink your lights, just keep moving. God. This is so intense. Come on, old man, old buddy. Don't let me down. Oh! Focus forward. Focus forward. No! Well, I hate this. Man, why would you put the lift so far away from this? That's got it. That's not. Yep, that's an anglerfish. Ah! Go! Oh, Jesus. Oh. I thought I was safe by the light. Whatever. I just wanted to turn around and look at the fish. I just gotta keep moving forward. Dumbass. Curiosity got me there. And now I'm limping around. Oh no, I went backwards. Oh no! Ah! I'm going a different way. Because why not? Why not go a different way? It'll be fun, they said. Go to the bottom of the ocean, they said. Launch the Ark, they said. Maybe don't space these so far apart, guys. No! Stay away from me! Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Your boy is struggling. Okay. Well, that was fun. Enjoyed that immensely.
Never been happier to be inside. Let's find the Ark.
Well, Simon, let's not get too hasty here. The dive room. Pressurization hazard. I mean, I wouldn't say this is great.
Welcome to Tau. What's left of it.
Are you guys all right? What happened here?
We ran out of real food long ago. People have been getting sick. Haven't heard from anyone in months.
No shit, they all think you're dead down here. Some failed evac story circulating at Omicron.
Oh, God.
Listen, son. We're on an important mission, and we need your help to operate the Omega space gun. When it's done, we can all head back up the plateau. But now we need to get moving.
Of course. Head on through to the habitat. We shut off the front section to preserve power.
All right, see you soon.
Okay. Suit status. HPS 1 signal lost. HPS 2 signal lost. HPS 3 active. Tau. HPS 4 signal lost. So there's something walking around in a suit. Love that. Access logs. Claire, Yoshida, Kotze, Glasser, Ross, Silovsky, Kotze, subject WOW R. That's creepy. Yoshida. Oh boy. Tracking. Omicron, climber station, and here we are. We're at Tau. Boy, the noises. The noises. Oh, man. Well, I touched a... I only touched one butthole. I haven't touched a butthole in this suit yet, so. Oh boy. This is fine. It's just totally fine. Not anything to be concerned about here. No worries on the structural integrity at all. I don't like. I hate this. This is bad. This is so bad. This is so bad. Ugh! I'm ready to run, man. No, 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 no. Please only be one. Please only let there be one. Please let there only be one of them in this entire place. need to know whether he can open a door. Don't. You sure can. Ah! It said offline and I called it anyway because I'm an idiot. No.
Anyone there?
Not in the mood to talk to robots. No offense.
Turn around. Turn around. Turn around. Turn around. Turn around. Turn around. This is so freaking intense. Just gotta breathe, just gotta focus. No, no. No! I need a map. If he goes out the door on the left, I'm gonna go out the door on the right. This is so ridiculous. All right, there he is. He went off to the right. All right, come in here. Come back in here, please. There we go. All right, come in here and then go through the door. God damn it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Because I'm going to hit the thing to that door, and then this guy's going to run to the door, because it's going to be so loud. You would turn around, you fucking asshole. No! No way! Oh, that's the first time that's happened. Simon has found his way into Tau, where the Ark is supposed to be. He must find the Ark and take it to Phi, where it can be launched into space. Oh, we'll see where it... This is so stressful, man. This is so stressful. Dude, hearing that airlock open was such a beautiful way to make that thing, to know that you have something in here. Oh, I really gotta... Oh, man. Gonna wait for his lanky ass to run out here again like he did last time. I hate this thing. I hate this thing, man. There he is. You're so cool, dude. Alright, we just need him to come. I need him to come like in here so I can kind of go around this desk and then make my way out. See, I need to know what direction it goes. Oh my god. It's interesting that he doesn't seem interested in coming in here. He ran down that hallway. Go the other way. Go to the right. Go to the right. Go to the right. Go to the right. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god.
We have to stop it.
Stop what? The Ark? Oh, lordy. All right. Inventory for food. A lot of stuff crossed out. Dried squid, minnows, repair paste, intravenous. I wonder how much of that is like the WoW and like what it wants. Tell me who you are. Yeesh. Critical system failure. Please reboot the workstation. If the problem persists, inform your administrator. See, I also wonder if that's like what I would have doomed the other Simon to become. Like, if he would have become that monster, which that would be awful, and also that thing just said Simon, so that's interesting. What is this? Oh, no. No, 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 no. Nope. Ah! Get out of here! Dude, this place... Oh, God.
Can't we do anything for him?
No. We're out of sedatives. If we had a gun, this would be the time to pull it out.
Did not expect it to end like this. Should have jumped the climber back to Omicron.
Without the Ark?
Forget about the Ark.
No, you don't get to say that. It's the only thing left of value. You know that.
Yeah.
Promise you won't leave it behind.
Well, I'll be dead one day. Then what?
Well, better keep it safe until then. Don't want the WoW to take and swallow it whole.
I'm sorry, Catherine.
It's okay, Ian. Just let it out. Let it all out.
Oh. God, it would be so depressing to be down here. No, that's not Catherine, I don't think. Oh, man, this place sucks!
we do?
Hey, try not to think about it.
My whole life, I've been a good man. We messed up, Sarah.
There.
I should have launched. Taken the chance.
There's time. If Ashkin says we could try again, when things calm down.
You gotta do it, you know? You got to.
That's Catherine. Makes me want to walk over to this again. Dude, that's messed up. Oh boy. I mean, the WoW is an AI, so I mean, I don't, whether it could act ethically or not would be, I guess, down to its programming. I mean, the WoW's directory, the WoW's directive is to keep things alive no matter what. And it seems like it's fulfilling its duty to the detriment of all involved. Alright, so the infirmary is up there. Dive room. Johann Ross, remotely locked. I would love to go in there. So we're gonna go up to the infirmary because when we called the intercom, there was somebody up here. Yeah, no matter what is absolutely what makes it a really nasty directive, for sure.
Go away, wow. Not letting you or your stupid pets inside.
I'm not the WoW. I'm not the WoW. Let me in. Yeah, but once you start putting restrictions on the WoW, that's when it gets very interesting. Because then you have to tell it what it prioritizes versus what it doesn't. So how do you quantify the point in which that no longer tries to keep things alive? How do you determine who it works harder to keep alive versus who it doesn't? A lot easier to do that in absolutes, despite the fact that the ramifications of it are terrible. This was not well thought through. At least it certainly doesn't seem that way. Terminal locked. Wait a minute. I really want to know. I want to get into that room. There's got to be a way to get into that room. Or I just have to deal with the sadness of the fact that I will not be able to access it. Here we go. Dispatch. Post-impact notes. January 12th, minor structural damage. Radio knocked out. January 17th, communications recovered. Omicron and the rest of Pathos 2 are all right. April 3rd, cross-site ratio failing. Lumar probes keep losing the link. Urgent fix needed. Tau can't retrieve the climber until the link is working. April 11th, visited by SSC Wolchek, Dahl, and Holland. System of bi-weekly visits established until communications. Lumar back at 100%. September 13th, evacuation of Tau ordered. We're all leaving for Omicron. September 15th, swarmed by monsters and no radio. We're fucked. Oh, good. Tau transport line. Get this shit out of here. Transmission. Upsilon, Theta, Lambda, Delta, Omicron, Phi, Omega, Lisbon, Cadiz. Com logs, outgoing, Omicron to Herber, Herber, Phi to Solowski, Omicron, Herber, Phi Yoshida, Omicron, Herber. Door locks, infirmary, unmanned. Oh shit. Johann Ross, there's a code. Oh. Okay. Phi status, access tunnels unstable. Phi proper, launch site okay. Mission control okay. Assembler okay. Site fully operational. Omega SG, Omega space gun. Flexible barrels, 7290 meters. Payload max 10 tons. Speed max 42,000 kilometers per hour. Alright, well that thing just unlocked this for us. That was nice of it. Something put that code in for me. I did not know it. Can't really make out what that is. Butthole! More of the gel experiments, it seems. What does it all mean? Journal. September 13th, 2103. I was hoping to see Omicron today. The evacuation ordered by the people at Theta was a gift, an excuse to leave Alpha and abandon the WoW. As the storm cleared, we were swarmed by monsters that the WoW had facilitated. We were ambushed and forced back toward Tau. Glasser, Kovsky, Coetzee, and I survived. Claire is in the infirmary, but it doesn't look good. November 19th. Coetzee made a run for it to check observation for anything resembling food. Going outside is beyond dangerous. It's like going to buy cigarettes in a hurricane. She came back and she had some crumbs with her. We all knew it was empty. I think she just wanted a chance to die without carrying the responsibility of taking it herself. December 25th. People from the plateau showed up. It was a group of engineers from Theta telling us that they wanted to use the Omega space gun to launch something called the Ark. It's an artificial world that carries brain scans made from people working at Pathos 2. The idea is silly, but endearing. We all agreed to do a scan so we could take part in this afterlife. December 26th. Some of the engineers returned from Phi. Apparently they postponed the Ark launch. They were all in a very foul mood and difficult to get any straight answers from, except for one very important thing. They all wished to remain at Tau to figure out this Ark business, but they'd scheduled for the climber to pick them up tomorrow. Someone would need to catch that climber to alert Omicron to what was happening. Luckily, Glasser and I were able to take on this mission. I'll finally get to warn Dahl and Sarang about the critical situation at Site Alpha. Recordings. Equilibrium.
The
pattern has stopped evolving. The WoW has managed to find balance. I convinced SSE Volcheck to turn off all external control systems, making the WoW our de facto caretaker. So far, it's exceeding expectations.
Post-impact.
Since the comet crashed a few days ago, January 12th, the WoW has dropped to a low energy state. It hasn't abandoned its duties. It's keeping climate and life support going. But it's been simplifying the pattern, redefining its protocol.
Wild growth.
The WoW has started to grow physically. It's not just the core chamber. All around Pathos 2, structure gel is bursting through the pipes, bleeding through walls. I don't know what WoW could possibly stand to gain from this, but I assume it is intentional.
Terrarium.
The heart of WoW has claimed such a large part of the core chamber that there can no longer be any question to its heightened awareness. Not only does its expansion suggest an unexpected understanding of space, but also its own physical manifestation within the world.
Termination.
The WoW is reaching out to every machine, every life form, to manipulate, to control. It's trying to help save its creators from all this, just like the protocol demands. But really, what is good enough? Where is the line drawn for what is human and what is not? Would walking corpses do? Would a group of machines thinking they're human be acceptable? We can't trust a machine to know, to understand what it means to be. We have to terminate the WoW project. It can be done. I just need to get some help from Omicron.
Ooh, I want to listen to that again.
The WoW is reaching out to every machine, every life form, to manipulate, to control. It's trying to help save its creators from all this, just like the protocol demands. But really, what is good enough?
So
Where is the...
Huh. Yeah, so the WoW's just following its protocol. Save the creators from all of this. Man and machine. I mean, that's interesting too, is it's not just reaching out to... It's like basically consuming everything. All right, here we go. Let's see what's in here. Oh. Hello.
You're different. Nice suit. Used to have one just like it.
Whoa.
Are you human?
Sarah Lindwall. Payload technician at your service. A rare sight, am I right?
I'd say so. You're the first normal living human I've seen.
There's not many left down here. Most of them are up on the plateau.
You mean at Omicron?
Yeah.
There's no one alive at Omicron.
You've been there?
We've been all over. The power plant at Upsilon, the ruins of Lambda, the abandoned Delta, Theta.
You've been to Theta?
There's not a lot left of Pathos 2.
And, I'm the only living person you've met? You mean I'm the last living human on the planet?
I'm sorry.
Who are you again?
Simon Jarrett.
Stationed out?
Nowhere. I used to work in a bookshop in Toronto. Long story.
Then what the hell are you doing here?
I'm trying to find the Ark.
Why would you? How do you know about that?
I've heard it's the last hope for mankind.
Damn right it is. Now what do you want with it?
Take it to the gun at Phi. Launch it into space.
That was the plan, all right. I've been guarding it ever since we brought it back to Tau. Just couldn't bring myself to let go. To tell you the truth, I don't have the strength to argue. And I certainly don't have the time to wait for the next sentient thing shuffling through here. Go ahead. Take it.
Thank you. Can I get you anything? Do anything for you?
You could kill me.
Good one.
I still can't believe I'm the last one. That's crazy.
Okay. It's kind of amazing how often in these playthroughs we have conversations about suicide. And seems to me that we're going to have to make a call here in a second about whether or not this person is going to stay alive. As a therapist, it is my ethical responsibility to ensure the safety of anybody that I work with. It is my responsibility to assess, and if a person indicates that they are experiencing suicidal ideation, it's my responsibility to do an assessment, to engage with them around that, to help them work through those thoughts, and to potentially find some solutions that don't involve actually ending their life. I ethically, as a therapist, can't endorse suicide. And we have certain responsibilities as therapists of how to intervene when we need to. That doesn't always mean, by the way, just calling the police or involuntarily committing somebody immediately, by the way. Therapists will do assessments. They'll ask questions. They'll work with you. They're not immediately going to call in the Gestapo to go take you away, which is a fear that a lot of people have. It's okay to talk to your therapist about suicide. Personally, I believe that a person who is of sound mind and body has the right to determine whether or not to continue living. And that's complicated, right? Because what does it mean to be of sound mind and body, right? Like the reality is death via suicide is a consequence of the decision of the person who chooses to end their own life. And there are some circumstances where I think if we take the emotion out of it, many of us would agree death is not the worst option. We think about medical euthanasia, when we think about people who are in like a vegetative state, we're usually, we're very quick to euthanize pets when we believe that they are suffering or when they are no longer in a position where keeping them alive is a boon to their health. Yet with humans, we often tend to treat them differently. We tend to believe that humans are supposed to live until circumstance kills them, not until they're at a position to take life into their own hands. This woman is in a very interesting position as it relates to this. So when she says you could kill me, I'm going to explore more about what that means. Because I certainly believe that this woman is the last human on Earth, who Lord knows how long she's been sitting here, that if she wants this to be the end, who am I to tell her otherwise? I mean, I would make an argument that I'm being selfish if my value is everybody should have to stay alive no matter whether they want to or not. So I'm going to keep you alive because suicide is either bad or a sin or whatever. Like, how selfish is that? This woman is sitting in this seat and says to me, please end my life. Pull the plug on this life support and let me go. Why is what I have to say about that more important than what she has to say about that? And if it was reversed and you were in a position where you were in so much pain or were in a circumstance that's just not tenable for your own health, wouldn't you potentially want that to be an option? If the answer is no, I want to live for as long as I possibly can, then more power to you. But if she has a, I mean, I don't even, the sound, mind, and body argument here, I don't even know if it applies. Like, I basically need to just take this woman at face value, because who else is going to, like, Lord knows how long she's been sitting here all by herself. But yeah, even Simon's response here is to be humorous. Like, haha, yeah, why would you want to die here? But when a person indicates to you that they're thinking about suicide, they have suicidal ideation, a lot of people worry that if they ask questions about it and are curious about it, that that's going to encourage a person to do it. And that's not how it works. In fact, talking to people about it and asking them questions about it and engaging with them around it is one of the things that actually mitigates the chance that a person is going to engage in the behavior. The harsh reality of suicide, more often than not, is that if a person does actually follow through with a plan, it was not impulsive. Suicide is rarely an impulsive decision. It is often one that is thought out, and it is often one where once a person commits to the idea and follows through, there's not a lot of talking them out of it. When people are willing to talk to you about it and talk about the ideation and seem distressed by the ideation, it suggests that there is a degree of ambivalence there. That it's being entertained as an option, but that it's not necessarily the desirable option. In which case, there's an invitation to understand what is the pain that you are attempting to mitigate by ending your own life, and are there other options that don't involve you dying that may be a way to address the issue at hand. This is coming directly in part from my training on the suicide hotline. And if you want more information about my perspective on suicide as somebody who worked on the National Suicide Prevention Hotline for 3 years and who's been a therapist at the time of the filming of this for 11 years, I encourage you to watch my video on YouTube called A Conversation About Suicide. We're going to have a conversation with this woman, and I'm going to talk us through this, and then we're going to make a decision about what to do based on what she says. And I think this is probably going to be pretty powerful here.
You serious about me killing you?
No, I'd love to hang around here until I dry up to the size of a raisin. Simon, this fucking sucks. I don't want to live like this.
Shouldn't we be doing something to keep you alive?
Why?
You're the last human. I just find it disrespectful to our entire history not to fight this. Sure, we have the Ark, but you're the real deal.
No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. That is about the worst thing that Simon could have said there. That is such an invalidation of her experience. It is just a profoundly disconnecting way of engaging with her. And you might say, like, wow, well, that's pretty extreme, but this is often how people engage with people who express suicidal ideation, is to try to talk them out of it, is to try to come up with all sorts of reasons. But what about your kids? But what about work? But what about purpose? But what about how I'll feel if you're gone. Guilt tripping a person experiencing suicidal ideation is not going to work, because the chances are that person already is worried about the implications of that and has already thought about it. And it may even create a sense of external pressure and burdensomeness that leads it to, not saying that that will talk somebody into doing it, but that's just not the way to engage. It's so disconnecting. Like, wow, you're the last human alive, thus your desire to end your life on your own terms is not important here? Yikes. Simon would do much better to listen to her and say, like, tell me about how miserable it is. What's it like knowing that if you die, you would be the last human? Like, is that of significance to you? Does that matter to you? You make this about her and her experience. You don't make this about Simon. You don't make this about some objective morality. You don't make this about how, well, if you kill yourself, that's a sin and you're going to burn in hell. You're an asshole if you say that stuff. Focus on their subjective experience. Listen. To validate her would be to have a human connection with her. And what's really interesting here is, despite the fact that Simon is not human in the sense that he is a biologic, he is human in the sense that he has a consciousness that was at one time in a human vessel. His conceptualization of reality is one that is human. His ability to connect with this woman transcends the vessel in which he and her occupy, right? I talked about this a couple episodes ago. If we believe that the robots that have human consciousness in them are not important because the consciousness is what matters, the same thing stands to reason for a human vessel. That just because she's human doesn't make it more important than the fact that I'm a robot. And if she, in her consciousness, is saying, I'm utterly miserable and I don't want anything to do with this, and I've long outlived what it is that my purpose was, and I'm going to give you the ark and let it go. And I'd really like to end this now because this is just absolutely terrible. That's what you attend to, not some greater purpose or some value set that you have, because Simon essentially made it about him here. Don't do that.
Thanks. That's probably the best compliment I've ever got.
She's very kind to him on that.
But the truth is that the Ark is all we have. We'll have to accept second best,
None of this feels right.
Simon, I want to die.
Sarah.
Just think about it. If I knew you'd come, I would have cleaned this place up a little bit.
Now, at this point, I don't know that there's much more for me to say other than to say to her, like, okay, I hear you. You want to die. My sense is that you are of sound mind and body to make that decision. You seem to be pretty strong in that conviction. Is there anything that you would like me to do or anything you'd like to say? Or anything that would be important for you for us to figure out before we do this. Now, if this is real life and she's not the last person on the planet at the bottom of the ocean, the way that you would interact with a person on this would be to get a sense of whether or not there is ambiguity. Okay, so it would be, and again, I don't expect that any of you are ever going to be in this position, but like the thing that when you're on the suicide hotline, one of the things that you are looking for is ambivalence. So in this case, the question I might ask her is, if there was a way for us to end the pain that involved keeping you alive, would you be open to that idea? And the majority of people who haven't committed to the idea that they're going to die are going to answer that question by saying, yeah, I just don't know what that is. So we might give her a little bit of time and say, like, hey, I'm going to look around. But again, how long have you been thinking about this? How long have you wanted to die? Did me telling you that you're the last human on Earth influence that decision? I mean, you could ask more questions. You could ask curiosity-based questions. But you have to be very careful in a situation like this with challenging it. Again, this is a very unique circumstance. When we're talking about real life, it's a little bit different. But there's still, getting people in touch with resources and whatnot is important. But again, the reality is if a person, again, of sound mind and body decides to end their life for whatever reason, that is a decision that they are responsible for. And that's a very hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. Promise no pun intended on that. And it's the reality of it. And it's why I make the distinction between DrMick's professional orientation to suicidal ideation versus DrMick's personal orientation to suicidal ideation, because I always have to default to the professional version of it when I'm in that capacity. But if I'm in her position and I'm trying to empathize with her of sitting in this chair by myself, desperately wanting to die because of all the environmental circumstances that are here, I mean, I could say to her, why don't you just hit the button? Why are you putting that responsibility on me? I realize that this is a video game, so it's part of what's being constructed here. But I could say to her, would you like me to scoot the life support system closer to you so that you hit the button yourself? It relieves me of the responsibility of being the person that hit the button. I mean, you could certainly do that. I think that would be a fair request. I want to know more info about why she's been alive up until this point. Maybe it's been that she was hoping that somebody would come along that would give her that she could give the arc to. And that now that she's given the arc to Simon, her sense of purpose and duty is no longer there. We don't know. I wish Simon would ask. So I'm going to ask her more questions in the hopes that Simon gets some of this information.
Go ahead. Go save humanity. What's left of it. Don't let me down. Go ahead.
All
Go
right, so that's
save
all we got.
humanity. What's left of it.
Okay.
I'm glad you came by. Good to get this over with. Be my guest. I got no secrets worth keeping.
Recent documents, corrupted data detected, restore files. Partial data recovery, emergency food by Nadine Masters. A thorough look at what common chemicals and compounds found at Pathos 2 can keep you alive in emergency situations. Last access by Sarah Lindwall. Nutrition, manual on how to find unconscious or comatose colleagues fed through intravenous drip. Alterations, methods on how to make room for additional payload after the casing has been constructed and left in Delta. All right, look, here's the other aspect of this that I think is important for us to talk about, which is that, like, again, why I talked about this a little bit. Why is what I believe about her life more important than what she believes about it? Like, even if getting that news about being the last human is what pushed her to want to die, why do I get to say to her, you stay alive now? Because you're making an impulsive decision based on the information that you just got. Why is that more important than her saying, this is my time and I want to go? Right? Like, if we're going to take the perspective that humans have the right to their own medical decisions, and that you should be able to make a choice about your bodily autonomy, why do we take death out of the equation? We often do it because the living are left to grieve the dead. And I think there is a degree of selfishness among the living. She could just say, I want to die, and that's the end of it. I don't owe you a reason at all. Fucking pull the plug. Or push that thing over here so that I can push the button myself. And again, why is my value around that more important? I would argue it's not. I would even make an argument that because now that she knows she's the only one and that nobody's left at Omicron, she's making even more of an informed decision than had Simon lied to her. That if she had decided to stay alive because she thought there were people alive up at the station that I was just at, that's even shittier. I don't think it's Simon's responsibility to lie to her here in order to make her feel better about it. I think it's Simon's responsibility to tell her the reality of his experience, which is that he was just an Omicron and there was nobody alive there. As far as we know, you're the last human alive. You're the last human. But you're the last human vessel. Not the last human if we're counting all the consciousness that's in the Ark. So, if you would like this body to perish,
Be careful.
so be it. This thing's huge. All right, any last
Don't let
words?
me down. Good luck, Simon. Would you stay with me, please? It won't be long now. Just, please, just stay. What a crazy thing this was. Life. At least I won't have to turn 30. Hooray! Wish I could have died at home with my friends. You ever been to Greenland? It's very beautiful. Well, at least when you get out of the city.
Talk to her, Simon.
Nanook is busy, and yes, there's like 12 million people trying to get around, but it's a great place. Or rather, it was a great place before the comet ended it all. You know what? I prefer it this way. I liked Pathos. Liked my colleagues. Ian, Nick, Jasper, even Catherine. People thought she was weird because she was quiet, but she was cool. Simon, you still there?
I'm here, Sarah.
Don't let him die, okay? Send them out there. To the stars.
Connection, man. Doesn't matter that I'm in like a robot or that I'm a suit. What matters to her is that there's a consciousness in there. There's a person in there that is with her, present physically in her final moments. There's a real peace to that. There's a real control on that. She got to dictate the terms. And again, I personally, I think that's pretty cool that she got to make the decision. Not a lot of people get to make the choice. It's a final act of control. And it's kind of an honor that we got to bear witness to her final moments as the last human on Earth, but just in general, even if she wasn't the last person on Earth. We were there with her, and bared witness to her final moments and the consequences of her choice. That's pretty powerful shit.
The black box is inactive. Probably found a way to switch it off.
I don't even know that it's necessary. We're with her. I mean, these digs are terrible. I really hope the WoW doesn't get to her, though. That would freaking suck if the WoW got to her. Like, I'd want to move her away from, like... I don't know. Oh. Holy shit, you can turn it back? No, I'm not. I'm not even going to mess with that. Damn.
No way I can climb a ladder while carrying the Ark like this.
Okay, well, then, oh. Well, let's turn that on then. How do I do that? Push to call the lift. Oh, man. Well, we're gonna carry that out the airlock in part 9. Friends, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this episode. We went in some pretty deep places tonight. It was a hell of an episode. I really hope you enjoyed the conversation and my thoughts. I would love to hear yours down in the comments. Leave a like. Leave a comment. Follow the links down below. Come hang out with us live on Twitch sometime if you're a night owl. Would love to have you here. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch these playthroughs and engage with them. It really means a lot. This playthrough has been way more than I anticipated it was going to be. So very cool that we've had the chance to experience this together, and yeah. So if you're waiting for the next one to come out, we'll get it out as soon as we can. And if you're binging it, we'll pick up the Ark part 9 right on the other side of a click. So appreciate you watching. Catch you on the next one.